everybody. We are back again. Back again after a very satisfying win at the Bernabeu. And it wasn't as straightforward as the scoreline would suggest, in my opinion. And satisfying for main two reasons. We buried the snakes like I wanted us to. Investors can collect all their tears and donate it to charity. And especially Vidal, man, like seeing him seethe is ASMR, is the best kind of ASMR in my opinion. So yeah, man, a very good win, very composed stuff from our boys. How did you feel it went about, Farooq?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to disagree with you. Like you said, it's not as easy as the scoreline suggests. To be honest, I just felt like, we could have played the game till today, and I felt like Inter most likely wouldn't have scored. I don't know. I just felt like, like it was like, it was about control. Like, I think we were able to assert the control in the game, we were able to control. And I just felt like, the know-how also is there. Like, that's one thing, like, I think that's going to be very important for us, like, we have the know-how. Because when you check most of the teams in Europe, okay, like maybe Bayern, Liverpool, and City, they're all new teams that don't have this, like, know-how of, okay, we've been there, we've done it. You understand? So, like, but we have this, like, the core of the team is still same. Okay, like, Courtois came and Alaba now came along. But, like, the midfield is same, the attack is roughly same as well, the full, Carvalho, and then the other guy is new as well, like Mendy. Yeah, so I just feel like, that know-how, like, just takes you through the game. Like, okay, we didn't play phenomenal, yeah, true. But, like, it's like we were not in trouble at any point in time. You get the point, right? So, like, I feel that's something, And also, like, with Carlo, man, I think Modric is gonna die one day, man. Really, he's he's gonna die on the field, man.
I read somewhere that he was asked, so what about Modric resting? He said, Modric rest for 3 days. What are you on about?
Exactly. Yeah. I saw that quote actually as well. Like, it was like, Modric, he needs to rest, but, like, he's gonna rest in 3 days. Yeah. So it was that actually. But I don't know, man. I feel like, because if you could recall in the last episode, we were talking, like, together with Mo, and we are saying, like, okay, most likely Modric is not gonna start, the Inter game. That's why he played, all through the Sociedad game. And here it is.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, I've come to expect this from Carlo, primarily due to his first stint at our club. So it is what it is. We have to just pray that the squad is still on their feet come March, April, and when the fixtures pile up. But for now, it's a good feeling, yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, like, it's very, it's to go to the Italian champions, like, play at their home and play. They come to our home and now, 6 points out of 6, no goals conceded. Man, I'll take that any day, man. That's like, it's something big, man. Like, but to be honest, like, the point is, like, I just feel like these days, man, like, it's like, okay, defeating the Italian champions, to be honest, doesn't mean much, because, like, the Italian league, it's not just what it used to be in the past, man. So, you might not also, take that as well. Better, like, being watching Milan and all that. So you can just see, like, the teams are just, they're there, and you just feel, okay, yeah, they're the best in Italy, but, like, where do they rank in Europe? So that's, like, that might not just be, how can I say, we cannot consider it as an acid test to check where we are yet, I feel. It would be like this, maybe more prominent teams in Europe, something like this.
I can't deny the fact that you just pointed out. It's not a fact. It's an opinion. But yeah, since the late 2010s, there was a massive drop off for Serie A. But I'll still say that Serie A is a better league than Bundesliga. By far. Like, Bundesliga and the Liga are basically rightly called Farmers League for a reason, but Serie A is much more competitive. But yeah, Inter Milan weren't at their best. they had their own issues financially and stability wise, since they had a change of coach just a couple of months ago. So still, we got the job done, man. We got the job done. I noticed during the game uh, that we just let them have the ball.
Yeah.
We just sat back. Um, not completely passive, but just passive enough to like lure them into areas where we can press and win back the ball. So it's pretty clever, man. Like it's like it takes someone like Carlo to actually play that way at home. Don't you think? Like I don't think if someone else did that and failed, the fans would be happy. At home, being a little passive, not taking the game to them like for the full 90. So yeah, I thought that was a commendable
I think
plan.
this will be, I think, maybe the second or the third or the fourth time we're talking about it. I'm not sure. But I think actually we spoke about this. I think after which game, I am not sure. Maybe it's after the Sevilla game. Yeah, it was the Sevilla game, like with the as Vinicius wonder goal, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I could recall I was saying in that game, like, now if Vinicius had not scored that goal, we were dominated at the Bernabeu by Sevilla. You get the
Fine
point?
margin.
You understand, right? So again, it goes back also to the Shakhtar game. It's the same thing, So it's like, okay, we just leave the ball to them, and okay, guys, do what you can do, and we're gonna just hit you with the spaces you create, and what is it, So this is it actually. I feel like it's a tactics that we've just resolved to, like, okay, we're gonna let them have the position, but like we're gonna hurt them like on dangerous breaks in dangerous spaces, So this is the thing, man. And actually also, like, yesterday was decided all by world-class goals, man. But this match was just all fantastic goals. Well, let me ask, what do you think of Luka Jovic, man, yesterday? So what's your take on his performance?
Luka Jovic?
Yeah.
Luka Jovic, for me, showed signs. More signs than I've seen from him in a long time. He still managed to hold up the ball pretty well. Try to lay it off to the runners behind him. He was neat. Apart from maybe a chance or two, I felt like he should have taken. He took a little too long to shoot. I felt like maybe it's rustiness. Maybe it's not just his play style. He's just a poacher, a pure poacher that can't like dribble people on and then shoot. That's not like maybe a good ball coming in, he could probably latch onto that and fire it first time. But he's not your Benzema. He's not your not Lewandowski, but he's not your like unorthodox finisher. He's more of an orthodox finisher, and like he had signs, man. Like I think if we give him enough minutes, coming on as a sub, from now on until the end of the season, we might have a more than decent backup to Benzema.
Yeah, actually, I feel your point. To be honest, also, like, yesterday, I feel like he's okay, as you said, he's not there yet, but like he's showing signs that he wasn't showing before. Because in the past, I could recall like Jovic was always hiding somewhere. But now, like, he's making himself available, as an avenue for the passes, the diagrams, and what is not, as you said, like, bringing the runners into the play, Now he's making available, at least, So I think that's a progress in my opinion.
It's all about confidence, you see. Like in my opinion, from what I saw earlier with Jovic, I used to see Jovic coming on, and the team still in the Benzema mode, trying to find Jovic in spaces Benzema would take up, the half spaces on the wing and whatnot. People used to look towards that, and Jovic would be somewhere else, like strolling by himself. But since the last game, where he showed some leadership and took the game by the scruff of its neck, like taking initiative, I think people now have at least 10 times more confidence in him than they had in him before. For that reason, I think he himself has started focusing on things that he would that would come naturally to him, if you know what I mean, than trying to facilitate as a replacement for Benzema, trying to fill that void. That he can't do that. He's not that mold of a player. Um, he's different. He's much more a classic number 9. So I think these last 2 games have shown us that he has reverted back to what works for him and tries to accelerate it. And I think that's the reason in his uptick in form.
Actually, I was actually gonna you brought out the point. I was actually gonna say credit to Carlo, man, because the point is, it's not just Luka Jovic anymore. You can see it's like Vinicius, Marco Asensio. Like you can see like these guys are like back. Okay, let's not say back, or I don't know. Anyways, like these guys
they seem like their batteries have been replenished. Yeah?
Exactly. Like it feels like they're like oozing confidence. For example, like the Asensio goal. I think we also discussed this in the previous episode, and we're like, okay, at least he's taking the shots now. He's not like, turning back and playing it safe, and doing this and that. And like, he hit yesterday. He hit one, and it was what a goal, man!
The most Asensio goal ever. Yeah,
that's just it, man. Like it was the most It was the most Asensio goal ever. So like, while giving credit also to Luka Jovic, also I think we also have to credit Carlo, man. Really, to be honest, like I don't know, because they've always like labeled him as the man manager, the players manager. This is what they've always labeled him as. And. You just see, and like really, like this season also just reinforces that, like it shows that these guys, are playing with some renewed confidence, man.
I think that's a very good point. Like people used to always just credit his man management, and it has really come to the fore this season, because we were not exactly in turmoil, but if you remember at the beginning of the season, we didn't have a direction. We just, like, obviously every season Real Madrid has to challenge for the La Liga, for the Champions League. We have to go late into the tournament and whatnot, but that's always there. But like I didn't feel like we could achieve any of that.
Yeah.
And Carlo walked in, and things seemed different. I wasn't confident. Like I'm not confident now either. It's too early to be confident. But I never thought he would turn the ship where it's headed at the moment. Like top of the group, top of La Liga. It's a wonderful feeling. I can't deny it. And this man has given me my greatest ever moment in La Decima. So may it long continue. And hope he manages to keep everyone together.
To be honest, sorry, I'm interrupting. Just finish and then I can.
No. Go on.
Yeah, when Carlo was reappointed, I was like, so what's one of them? Like, because the point is, I just felt like Carlo is outdated, because you could feel like his last 2 jobs were Napoli and Everton, and like the point is like Napoli was coming under the back of Sarri, and it was like a very, very good Napoli team, and then all of a sudden, Carlo came, and like it was nothing spectacular about it. And Everton came. He went to Everton. The first few months was fantastic, but then eventually, they just finished the league at 10th.
Everton. No disrespect to Everton, but Everton are a shit team, bro. They're a shit team. With them, even though they've had some good signings, spent some money, blah blah blah, they're a shit team. But even with them, Carlo managed some impressive results. Didn't they win a Merseyside derby against Liverpool?
Yeah, they won a Merseyside derby. They even defeated Manchester United as well. But the point is, what I was trying to make is that, at least you want a coach that's going to, like Ancelotti's CV, both as a player, as a coach, like it dictates that automatically, like that respect, But what I'm just saying is that, he was coming up with Napoli and, it's Everton. So you're just like, okay, so what's up? Like it doesn't give you the confidence or like, okay, let's see, okay.
From Inter Milan, I get it.
Exactly, it's not like we're appointing, Nagelsmann or a Jurgen Klopp or a Pep Guardiola,
Yeah, it's not the same type.
Exactly, so it wasn't given that, but like to be honest, man, credit to him, man. He's just, he's done, because the point is that you can only defeat the games in front of you. Like you can only win those games. Like he's the top of the league. He's the top of the Champions League group as well. So kudos to Carlo, man. He's done a fantastic job.
He's done a phenomenal job. Another thing I have to credit Carlo for is like in my opinion, like he could have dealt with our midfield two ways. Okay, either completely shelving KCM
Yeah.
and giving your Ferries and Kamavingers the run out,
Yeah.
or sticking to them and trying to see how it work. You know, and Carlo just took the gamble, and it has paid off at least as of December the 9th, 2021. As of now, it has paid off big time in how much the midfield is able to dictate games. Like I still feel I've brought this up, and you've brought this up as well against your creme de la creme, the very elite teams. We might get outpressed and outrun in midfield, but against your not so elite teams and your very good teams, you can actually play KCM and they can do the job. And like I would have never thought that like I would be saying such a thing end of last season, for instance. you
Yeah.
know like Modric and Cruz and everybody were still performing good, but I could see clear deficiencies in their work rate. Not there. Nobody can question KCM's talent or the skill they possess.
Yeah.
It's always the work rate, like how much they can run.
Yeah. How much ground? Actually, no, that's the problem now. I feel like the sport has now just become more of a physical kind of game. Like the technicality has to also be coupled with the physicality. Because you look at even like technicians such as even Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. You see those guys cover shit ton of grounds, man. They
Yeah.
cover a lot of ground, man. Even like Marco Verratti of Italy, also like these guys cover a lot of ground. To be honest, So like it's no longer the days of just give the ball, take the ball. For example, I was discussing with someone on our lab, and we're discussing about Guti has, and he was like,
Yeah.
Guti played in this era. I mean, like Guti would he would literally not play. Maybe he wouldn't.
Guti would be worse than Isco if he played in this era. He
Yeah.
wouldn't even have the consistency of Isco. Isco had consistency for what, maybe 2 seasons?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. Like the game has become a lot of physicality, man. Like 11 men,
It's not physically. It's become all about numbers, stats, metrics, like coaches overanalyzing. There's in my opinion, the sport has lost its individuality. Like you would never see a Zidane again in this era. No chance.
Yeah, so like the
You have to play it safe.
shuttling up the players, I guess, right?
They asked to play it safe. They asked to choose a safer option. More often than not, because of like how we discussed, because of the athleticism in players and the heavy work rate. If you take a gamble during a high intensity game and you misplace a pass, that's it. That might be the end of your career at a club. Like so. Yeah, I think that's a trade-off you get with the advancement in all the football statistics and football science.
Actually, I feel now, you talked about, stifling the individualism. Actually, now I feel like it's more of the era of the super coaches, I would say. Because now you can imagine, like, for example, I could recall, I think in the year 2017 and 2018, like City had a trademark goal they scored. Okay? So they just go, and then someone just brings the ball from the left and Raheem Sterling does a tap-in.
Yeah.
This was like a trademark goal for Man City. You understand, right? And then now, okay, like it's also the same thing with Klopp at Liverpool as well, like, but then you just imagine now, okay, take these people away from this team, and then what happens? Like when you take Klopp away from Liverpool,
they'll go back to being
so it's more. How can I say? It's more of like this. The coach is the main. I don't know if you get like the coach is the Zidane of the team, for example. I can say. No. So I feel like that's the thing we move into. So actually, also we can even go closer to home, like at Atletico. Also, you can see like the superstar of the team is definitely Simeone.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So you just imagine, okay, like take these guys away from the teams, and you just like will these guys play the same way? Will they achieve the same things they've achieved?
No,
so it's obviously like not so. It is what it is. Anyways, okay, let's move on. What about the red card for Barela? What do you think? Red or no red?
clear red, clear as day. I thought I was watching the wrong channel. You know, like I was presuming I was watching UCL instead of UFC. You know, the way he punched his calf. Absolutely mental that he chose to do that. You know, when losing 1-0, you could see clear frustrations. But yeah, man, big ups to Alaba who just came in like a fucking Ferrari. You know, he just rushed to the scene. He was like, you know, like, how dare you touch my boy? I kind of dig that. You know, like ever since Ramos left, I always had this inner fear that we would lose that edge that we would have. You know, like people wouldn't fear us anymore. But people like Alaba, people like Casemiro are still holding that torch up high. So yeah, man, Alaba, like I've slated you for some very dodgy performances, but passion, I see it, I see it, I can see it. So yeah, for me, red card every day.
No, I was gonna say this. Like, I feel like these guys are professional footballers, international footballers, and like in Barela's instance, like a very, very talented footballer. Okay, I feel like don't they have like a management? Okay, like you know when you get to a job, you know there's like an HR course that tells you, okay, you can do this, you can do this, like you can cuss on the working situation.
They're humans after all.
No, it's the point is like, okay, we're all humans, but like there was nothing malicious like Militao tackle. Okay, if you understand, if someone has stamped on me, I can retaliate. You understand? Well, like you guys just contesting for something, and then he shoves you. Like it's like, how can I say? There was nothing malicious. There was no bad intent there. Okay, yeah, you can understand. Like, okay, like I hit the dashboard or the deckboard or whatever it calls. You understand? But like you retaliating by throwing a punch. It's one, and the point one is this, like Sunil, listen. The point is now we have even the video assistant referee. So it means if the ref had not seen it, the video assistant will call him back and tell him to send this guy off.
Yeah.
So like that's my point. I don't, but then yeah, you're right. Also, like we're human beings, so like the blood rush and the heat of the moment, shit happens and all that. But I just feel like like if me and you we do this like when we play 5-a-side and all that, yeah, we can understand. Okay, like this is okay. We're just amateurs and even less than amateurs. Understand? Like these guys are players who played at the highest level of football.
Yeah.
And like still, I just feel like these things should not be there anymore. And to be honest, as I said, if it was a malicious like tackle, okay, yes, 100%. Like this is my livelihood. When you injure me, you injure my career as well. You understand? But like there was nothing malicious there. Like, so why are you boiling your frustration over a Militao when like just gonna shorten your team 1-1?
I'll tell you something, okay? What I felt like when Barela punched him, I've seen Militao getting booed, especially during his very, very first few months here. He has gotten some stick from the fans at the Bernabeu, 2019 and whatnot. It's probably just people holding him up to the standards of Varane and Ramos. But yesterday when Barela punched him and they squared up and everybody rushed in, the people started singing his name. The crowd started chanting his name, which in my opinion that incident I think completely turned the crowd towards Militao. Like they used to love him the past few weeks that he have been Colossus at the back, but that incident completely I think brought the fans on his side. So it's brilliant to see, man. Very rarely Bernabeu sings praises for one of their players. They're very a hard bunch to please.
Yeah, they're very difficult to please.
Yeah, it was very, very pleasing to see. A couple of other very crucial performances that I need to point out. Danny Carvajal, man, oh my God, that guy. I used to tell you guys before, if we keep Carvajal fit, we are in for a shout for all major honors this season, because he's the most well-rounded wing back that I've seen in my era, because most wing backs I've seen has a flaw. They either lack defensively or they either lack offensively. Okay, at least the very top, like during our era, like obviously you have your Maldinis and whatnot, But like coming to our era, Carvajal does the job brilliantly. Like if I tell you these stats, you would think he's a midfielder. 81 touches, 1 assist, 2 big chances created, 4 key passes, 3 out of 3 accurate long balls, 62 out of 67 accurate passes, 3 clearances, 2 blocked shots, 8.2 rating. So it's not shabby, for a wing back
Yeah.
that has been heavily criticized for being always injury prone. Any thoughts, man, on Danny Boy?
The point is this, to be honest, I think I said this like I think maybe 1 month back actually. I love Carvajal, to be honest. And you're right. When this guy is when he's fit, 99 out of 100 he delivers.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, it's not about him giving a shitty performance. No, it's about him being short on fitness.
Yeah.
You understand? But the point now is when I need Carvajal the most and he's not there, and I have to play Lucas Vazquez, or I have to play Fede Valverde, or I have to play Nacho, then now this brings down my team so much, because really the difference is so huge that you notice.
Yeah. The
Even
drop off.
Notices this. So now the point becomes now, would I rely on someone who is never there when he needs to be there?
Yeah.
So this is the problem. To be honest, I have no problem with Carvajal. I love him to the core. But the point is, if the guy is always getting injured, and the way things go now with Carlo, and Carlo has his favorites and no rotation policy, not to jinx it, but we will be here in the quarterfinals of the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We need to go to the Allianz Arena, and now we have to play the Lord there. And the Lord against Leroy Sané is like, okay, guys, just sleep.
Yeah, just
go to bed. Just go to bed. I love Lucas Vazquez to the core, man. The man, he's a furniture at the Santiago, man. He's a furniture there. He's part and part of the buildings there, man. The guy is a furniture. He's someone you need to have in the team. But the point is, when push comes to shove, these minor differences are what people punish. So that's the thing, man. If only, I don't know, because with Carvajal, it's not just muscle injuries. If I'm not mistaken, last year he also had some heart problem, the cardiac issue as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just that, man. So
it's hard on him. It's harsh on him. But yeah, I hope he stays fit, man. If he stays fit, man, our right wing is sorted. Whoever plays up front with him, it's not an issue. If it's either Rodrigo or Asensio, it's still going to work with Danny bombing up and down. Moving on to another guy. Okay, this is someone divisive. See, I'm a huge fan of Rodrigo, and I felt like he did the job yesterday. But I read on the sub and on Twitter and on many other platforms that they were slating Rodrigo like he wasn't good enough, and he was being very dire. Any thoughts?
Actually, I feel with Rodrigo, he's not. How can I put it? He flatters to deceive, if I can say this. So he's okay, you don't actually see the. Okay, one thing is that he's a workhorse, right?
Yeah, that's what I love about him. He's a
workhorse. You understand? So I think what's happening is that we are expecting more of a Vinicius kind of explosion from Rodrigo. But the point is, I think we need to understand that Rodrigo is a different player entirely. He's not that kind of player.
No, yeah.
He's not that kind of player. And the point is, I think the way we quantify Rodrigo, we quantify him with the number of goals he scores or the number of assists he makes. Rather than for Vinicius, we just quantify him oh, that was a beautiful game. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So I feel that's it, because he doesn't have that, okay, he doesn't rather display that much flair as Vinicius does. So we only quantify him as, okay, he hasn't done any successful crosses this match. He hasn't created any chances. He hasn't scored any goal. So I feel that's the way we judge.
Yeah, assist, right? He was the one who gave the assist to Cruz, right?
Yeah. So that's it. But actually, I feel to me it was a decent game, man. To be honest, because I feel to be honest, the game, Real weren't spectacular. We were decent. We were just good enough. Yeah. So I just felt for me, I had no problem. And Rodrigo was good, man. To be honest, Rodrigo was good. And to be honest, for me right now, if I had a game between Rodrigo and Asensio, I would choose Rodrigo, to be honest. I feel the ceiling of Rodrigo is much than that of Asensio. I feel so. I don't know.
Yeah. at this point of time, I gotta agree with you, because Rodrigo may not have the X factor, but his
Yeah,
his work ethic his work ethic tells me that like he can achieve great things,
yeah,
because this guy gives us everything. And like I've seen Asensio press and whatnot, but I haven't seen Asensio press like Rodrigo. Rodrigo is almost like Vasquez with the charm,
yeah.
with the magic stardust. So he can certainly improve. Like when I say people are being harsh, I wouldn't say like Rodrigo is being phenomenal, that he's being the X factor. No, he's nowhere near Vinicius's level at the moment, but he can do a job, man.
Yeah,
He
that's
can do
it.
a job.
Yeah. That's it.
So yeah.
Okay, so should
Okay.
we move on? Do you have any stats for us, or let's just move on to the Grand Derby?
We can move on. A couple good mentions. Cruz, man, oh my god, that goal, like it takes some doing. Weak foot, that's some banger, like even in FIFA, if I score a goal like that, like I would watch the replay like 10 times. It was that satisfying, like the precision, the quick thinking to just fire using his left foot. Man has 96% passing accuracy, during this UCL campaign. That is a fucking robot at work. It's not human to have 96 passing accuracy. And all the Reddit and Twitter trolls, they would say, this guy passes it sideways, passes it to the
Yeah, exactly. Really, yeah.
you don't know the game, bro. I'll tell you, you don't watch enough football to know what Cruz does to a midfield, how much stability he provides.
Actually, that's the thing. The point is that we don't watch things and we just comment. For example, it's like Jorginho as well. Like a lot of people just say, okay, like this guy is like okay. They say he's a good passer. I just see he passes the ball between himself and Kante, and then what's that? You actually need to watch these things. We can't just sit
Yeah,
here and just like look at stats, because the point is, okay, for attackers we can look at stats because we can say, oh wow, Lewandowski scored 40 goals. You understand? But for
yeah.
midfielders, like okay, like he completed 1,000 passes and all that. Like we can't really understand that. You need to watch the game and see like okay, how does this guy take the position, relieve the pressure, and like set up the counter attack by setting just one pass? So these are things we need to unless we watch the game, we cannot actually
Sometimes you know playing the spectacular pass is the wrong option, and these guys prove it game in, game out. Sometimes playing the obvious ball is the right way to go about shit. Like random people watching it might think, this is so obvious. This is such a simple five-yard cross ball. Like what is so magical in it? But yeah, we know, and we appreciate it every day.
Oh sure, man, we appreciate Tony Cross
Toni
100%.
Kroos is a class above. He's an absolute sniper, as people rightfully call him. Also Thibaut, man, keep it coming. This guy, he he might be just like munching on some random leaves or giraffe for like half of the game, and then when he's called into action, he's just really good. So keep this coming, Thibaut. I'm one of your biggest fans now. I remember how much I hated him a couple of years ago for his comments on Navas and whatnot. So yeah, these guys are turning it around. And these guys are shutting us up,
Yeah.
and that is what exactly we need. That's what we need.
Yeah, okay, to be honest, also like I wasn't a fan of Porto because like he came and like I was like Navas has been a good servant. Why do you guys need to change him and all and what's it and what's it? And
And
anyways,
even talk shit. That's what rubbed me the other way. Like the club's decision is the club's decision. Like we can't do anything. But he actually had the audacity to come out and say shit. So I didn't like that. So yeah, but he has come a long way from that. So anyways, moving on to the big one. The probably the biggest game of the season for me. Even though these guys are fourth in La Liga and they look way off their title winning campaign last season, they're a threat. They're a threat just for the reason because they're managed by Cholo, and they have this very you know why Atleti fails sometimes when we feel like they might not fail? Why do you think that is? I want to hear it from you.
I
Like
think they're
most,
they're 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 the best underdogs, man.
yeah, exactly. So you know what you're talking about. They're the best underdogs to have played in the modern era. So when the onus is on them, they just
Exactly.
crumble under the pressure.
Actually,
Um,
before you go on, like, actually, I can't remember what commentary I was watching, but like the
mm,
guys, they were like speaking, like they were like, okay, what's gonna happen at the weekend? So like, Carlo allows Inter to have the ball, you know,
mm,
Atleti allows, I think it was Porto, right? Porto to allow to have the ball. So who's
mm.
gonna give the ball to who in the derby on?
I think.
So I was
Um,
thinking, like, for sure we're just gonna have the ball, man. And it's, as I told you earlier, it's gonna be us against 10 wall, man. Like, 2 walls of
I know.
5, I don't know, man, really. And how would we
The-
cope with that? That's also something, man. And they will also try to counter. We might try to counter. We will not find
yeah.
space. How will Vinicius cope? Is Benzema gonna be back? How does Luka Jovic hold up against the center backs?
It's a very very interesting matchup because like you just mentioned the the cat and mouse game of like, oh, we don't want possession, oh, we don't want possession, like by everybody is gonna be put to the test on Sunday because I think Carlo's clear plan would be to sit back, not like Atleti, but to be very passive in the press. Like they would expect, in my opinion, they would expect us to, press relentlessly. I know we can't do that, but they would be expecting it because it's
Yeah.
El Derby at home, you know,
Yeah.
and they would be expecting us not to give them any space to breathe. But I think Carlo would sit back a bit and be a bit passive and then hit them on the break. I think that's the best way to go about it because when Atleti has too much of the ball, like they run out of ideas pretty quick. On the games I've watched them this season, and they seem to lack that cutting edge up top. Suarez hasn't been his usual self this season, even though he's injured. Like I don't think he has been at his very very top level. Korea can do a job, but he's not Suarez.
Exactly.
Like he's a good backup, but he's not Suarez. So any other people that you feel like are a big threat from Athletic?
To be honest, like, I just feel like we're gonna play at the Bernabeu. I just feel like, for Atleti, it's just gonna be one set piece, one-headed goal, one counter attack, and it's a goal, and you just have to sit
So
back. I don't know.
don't.
I feel like, actually, you're right. Like, at outlets, you just have to take care.
Yeah,
If Felix plays, Thomas Lemar has also been good.
yeah,
Suarez most likely wouldn't play. And most likely they play with Cunha. You don't know, maybe.
yeah.
If
Matheus Cunha, man, like I never expected this guy to make an instant impact. Like I didn't even know this guy existed before he moved to Atleti.
yeah.
Like I never knew about him, and he
Came
can play
from
so many positions.
played in Germany, I think, right? He played in Germany.
I've absolutely no idea. I'm blinded by this guy's emergence because
He played in Germany.
I have no prior knowledge about Matheus Cunha.
Yeah.
I just know the fact that he can play multiple positions.
Yeah.
He can play cam, he can play striker, he can play a false nine.
He can play all
Um,
across the front line, also, and also he's quite a fast player as well.
yeah. He's quite athletic.
Yeah, that's just, you just have to consider the fact that I just feel like even if we tell them to have the ball, they're gonna give the ball back to us because the point is, like, I just feel like they're gonna say, okay, we're going to Bernabeu, so now we're gonna defend. So they're gonna just put, like, already he plays a 3-man defense, and then now he plays a 3-man defense, 5-man midfield. So for sure, it's just gonna be two lines of 5, and I don't know, man.
Yeah.
One runs somewhere.
It's going to be usual.
It's just
But
gonna
the thing is, did you notice that they used to play a very Simeone for most of his tenure at Atleti used to have a very very organized 4-4-2.
Yeah,
Like he would die by the 4-4-2.
exactly.
And I think this season and the last season he has experimented with the three at the back
Yeah,
quite a lot. And when I look at the lineup, man, it's quite alarming because Jimenez has been missing for quite a bit right now.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, Kondogbia is playing a centre back.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's
So actually, I
that's
think
it.
back to your point, it's about trying to protect his defense because you can see like Jose Maria Jimenez has been missing for a long while, you know. So like he's just trying to protect, and like now he has to play like Godfrey Conrubia as a center back. So like
Yeah.
just trying to protect, with Hermoso and Versarico as well. So to protect
Yeah.
the back line, it's better to play like a back three or a back five or whatever it is, So you have more shield and more solidity there as the leader of the defense is out. So I feel that's something like just to protect his defense. That's why he switched to a back three.
Where is Trippier? Is he injured? Trippier.
I'm not sure. I think he should be, right? Because he wasn't in the squad in
Yeah,
the last game.
he's completely out of the picture. Like I haven't seen him for a bit. Like is he like is he having a major injury or something? Not quite for sure.
Sure. Like, but I feel like Trippier is like he's a Simeone player, man. Kieran Trippier is very very Simeone-esque player. So I feel like
Yeah.
his injury should be quite serious given the fact that he's not playing. Because like Simeone loves, and actually Trippier is a fighter, to be honest. Like he's one of those, because actually although he's British, like I could not, how can I say that he has that different.
Although he has played for the shit ball in North London, I still respect the man for what he has done in the game. So.
Well, man, yeah, that's it's good for us, man. Trippier is out, Jimenez is out, so yeah.
Jimenez is out, yeah. Suarez seems like a huge doubt. That's the big news because without him, they lack that focal point. Griezmann is not your number 9 to be looking up to provide the killer goal. Like he's not that type of a player, but he still grabbed the crucial opener against Porto on a night when they needed to win. When the chips were down, he stepped up, and I've seen this from Griezmann, man. Like for a few times, like I used to think this guy was the most overrated player ever. But he seems to come up with some big moments. Griezmann.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, I've always rated Antoine Griezmann, even since he was at Sociedad, like I just feel like the point is, even when he was at Atleti, he was, as you said, like he was a crunch player. And all of a sudden he went to Barca and everything was just, was just down from them. And so I just felt like, to be honest, he never really fitted the Barcelona. And I felt the purchase of Griezmann was like just more of a, yeah, we know the decisions that they made at Barca have been shit. It's just more of a power play from Barcelona to show that, okay, we can get this guy. Because Griezmann made like the whole decision video or documentary or whatever it is, like making like, I'm not going to Barca and what is that, So I feel like Barca were just like, okay, yeah, like we can get this guy if we want him, And that was that. But to be honest, like, from a sporting perspective, like he wasn't actually the person who was going to fit this system.
Barcelona.
Because even at the World Cup in 2018, where they won, like every team ran to Griezmann. You understand? Like, so like they were asking Griezmann to come and join a team that already has an orchestrator in Messi, like who is the only person who does what Griezmann does better than Griezmann.
Yeah.
The point, so it was like a very uphill task for him. And also the other thing is that we've seen like the most efficient Griezmann has been is associated he played with Carlos Vela. At Atleti, he's played with different strikers, with Diego Costa, even
he's
now.
the perfect second striker, yeah.
Thank you very much. At France, he's played with, Olivier Giroud as well. So like he's always played off a striker, okay? But then now you come to Barcelona and you guys are playing a fluid 4-3-3 with Suarez and Messi and Griezmann. So where do you want him to fit into? So like gone are the days when he was a, how can I say, he's a silky player, to be honest, but he's not a winger.
No. He doesn't have the burst of pace to get past people.
So I think, and he operates in tight spaces, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So that's, for him, then you're giving him, okay, like this is a huge field of land, run through it. No, that's something. That's not what he does, actually. So I feel like, people are just being unfair, because the point is eventually, everyone just thinks, okay, Griezmann goes for more than 100 million pounds, okay? So we don't care. He's a footballer, like even if they ask him to play as a goalkeeper, he has to perform. You understand? So sometimes we just don't, we don't go deep into the situation and try to understand, okay, like, why is this guy not performing? Because obviously everyone knows Griezmann is a world-class player. Like, that's just it. Like, even, he's an Atletico player, but we know this. Like, okay, obviously we're not that stupid to like deny the obvious, So that's just...
I wouldn't say he's the very, very, like I get your point. Like, you could say he's world class, but it's a very hard sell for me. Like, I can't put him up there with your Benzemas and like, I know Benzema and Griezmann take up different positions, but Griezmann is not quite that top player. He's a very good player.
But actually, the point is this, you're missing this. Right now, Griezmann isn't at that point, okay?
I never thought he would.
In the past, Griezmann was at the level, man.
He was never top 3 in the world, bro. Top 4 in the world.
But you don't have to be top 3 to be a world-class player, man. So this is just because the point is, like, you don't have to be a top 3 to be a world-class player, man. You're competing with a lot of players.
Yeah.
Just top 15, top 10, that's world-class players, man. And I feel Griezmann has been there. Griezmann has been there. Okay, right now, he might not be there, but Griezmann has been there. He's shown that, under the right circumstances, he can perform to reach that level.
Yeah, maybe at a better team, he would have snuck into the top 5 some point in his career before. That's a fair point. But for me, Griezmann is very good, exceptional talent. But not the very, very elite in my opinion. But still, he can still do a very, very crucial job, both for France and for the teams he has played in. He always had that flair. I remember seeing a young Griezmann at Sociedad. He was something else, man. Like, he was. He had the pace, he had the goals, he had the vision, he had the flair. His fancy hairdos. I remember his Neymar haircut back in the day. I used to think, who is this guy? So another player, bro. Another player I want to discuss.
So just to add something, actually, Griezmann finished 3rd in the Ballon d'Or voting in 2018.
Oh, so that shuts me up, basically. So there you go. That goes there goes my argument out of the window. So Griezmann, big ups to him, man. Big ups to him. Another player, bro, that I would couple years ago, I would have never thought, never in my wildest dreams, that Thomas Lemar is gonna turn it around. Because whenever I've seen this guy,
I know, man.
Whenever I've seen this guy, bro, and Monaco, he used to be good. Okay, not that good that he would be playing for Atleti. A very good Atleti, not the Atleti of old, a very good Atleti. So, and when he came to Atleti, whenever I saw him play, man, he can't make a correct pass. He can't pick out a simple ball. Like, he doesn't know when to get in behind, when to come short. Like, he just looked like a man who lost, like, all his football IQ. Like, he didn't know what to do on the pitch. And since last season, he has been something else. Like, ever since, I think for most part, from what I've learned from people discussing online, from what I've learned is that Simeone apparently used him as a winger when he never was an out-and-out winger. Like, he never possessed the pace to be a winger. And he was very hardworking. So maybe, like, I see why Simeone initially put him on the wing, because he has a tremendous work rate. Like, he always tracks back. Like, he's very good defensively. So I see why Simeone must have done that. But he was getting his skill set was getting wasted on the wing. But now, since he has came much more inward, like, he's totally different player.
Actually, I feel like the case of Thomas Lemar is a very curious one. You understand? Like, you feel like, I think he's been at Atleti for 3 years now, right? Even more, like,
2018, I think.
So, like, and actually, I feel like he must be showing something to Simeone in the training ground. That makes because, like, as you said, like, initially he was like, the guy could not even pass, man, and like, he was like, he was just like, he was like the pariah or whatever they call him, like, on the on the bench, you know, at Atleti. Like he was the last person to come on and this and that. And all of a sudden, something happened. You know, actually, I think you can actually relate it to like Eriksen at Inter as well, like under Conte.
Yeah.
You know, in the first half of the season, Eriksen was like, okay, Conte was like, I need more from Eriksen, I need more from Eriksen. And then the second half of the season turned, and all of a sudden, like Eriksen became like an indispensable player. One of the reasons why they won the Scudetto. You know, but I feel something changed. You know, for Eriksen, it was like a failed transfer. You know, like he wanted to go back to Spurs, and Spurs couldn't afford him or whatever. And then the transfer break, and then he was like, okay, this is a marriage of inconvenience, but since we're married, we have to just, you know, keep the inconvenience together. And actually, he talked, I think maybe for the marriage might be the same, like, you know, always there are rumors like, okay, someone was going somewhere, someone is going somewhere. So I don't know, but like, maybe it was also that, but like, as you pointed out, since last season, like, Thomas Lemar has been the fit, and he actually even got recalled back to the French squad.
Yeah. Lemma proved a lot of people, including me, wrong with last season's performances. Like
actually, so the point now comes back to this. You know, actually, it now becomes like hard work, man. Really, I feel like if you work hard enough, you're gonna get rewarded. Like no matter how good your team is, if you work hard enough, because you can see, like for example, Nacho and Lucas Vasquez. You know, the point is these guys play ahead of a lot of players, man. Like Odriozola was there. He couldn't get game time. Okay? Even Militao, Nacho played ahead of Militao lots of times. Not until Varane and Ramos got injured all of a sudden at the same point was Militao playing together with Nacho. Yeah, right? And also, like, you can see, like, Vasquez plays ahead of literally everyone. Gareth Bale, Eden Hazard, you know, just to name a few. So like he plays ahead of all these guys. You know, my point is just, you know, like how do a play pays off, man? Like really put the shift and you're gonna get.
Yeah, God's case is gonna tell his grandkids, you know what? I benched Gareth Bale and Hazard, you know, for
sure, man. For sure. Man, you should put a frame here, man.
yeah.
Hazard and Bale on the back.
I'm gonna get a couple of displays for Hazard. I mean for
Vasquez.
For Vasquez. Soon enough. But yeah, moving on to other Atleti players, man. Marcos Lorente, absolute revelation since he switched upfield. Now this guy is a fucking trump card, man. Like I don't know how to describe him. Like how many positions can he play?
Exactly.
Like apart from center back, I've seen this guy everywhere. Striker, winger, like number 8, wing back. You know, like what is there that he can't do? Basically, the complete package: passing, pace, athleticism. You know, you name it. Like he has been something else.
Yeah, man, that's the one. I don't know, man. I feel like was he hasty or like was that a Zidane? I don't know. You know, also Zidane had that thing of he wasn't gonna play people he doesn't, you know, he doesn't like or something like that. So
if he stayed in Real Madrid, he would never have the chance to really show that he had all this in him. You know.
Yeah, that's okay. Maybe it was about, you know, maybe just the player wasn't patient enough. But actually, but it's so patient, man. Like he's been there for a long time. And
I don't think Lorente is gonna blossom into this player, bro. How many midfielders have we bought in, sent out, wasted their careers, some may argue, because of KPM? Kovacic. I loved Kovacic to the bits. He was the closest player I've seen to Luka Modric. Kovacic, you know, like he was really good. He's still really good. The way he dribbles, you know, in field. And I thought the club was harsh in not giving him a proper chance. But he was an integral part of our 16-17 season, right?
He was. You know, the point is this, like, the KCM is a legend, man. Like, these are legends that we hear about, to be honest, you know? Like, the KCM is the legends of those types of, you know, you hear, okay, like, they tell you, like, you go to the West German teams with the Beckenbauer and the Matthias Sammer and the Gerd Müller, you know? This is what the KCM is, man. The KCM is a legend you hear about. Like you go to the Milans of Sachi, you know, with Baresi and Maldini, you know, with those guys, with the George Reyes and what is not. So like this is what this is a legend you hear about. So the point is like for people like Kovacic, like who are young and trying to get into the team, coming into the team at the point where you have KCM, it's so difficult, man. To be honest. even maybe you can recall like with Xavi, Iniesta, and Sergio B as well. Fabregas
Mhm.
came back from Arsenal. Boy, the guy had to play like as a number 9, as a number 11, as a number
Okay.
7, you know.
Yeah.
And eventually he left because it wasn't working.
Mm.
Like it's very difficult to break in. Like when you have like literally these are people whose name are gonna be like it's gonna be bedtime stories, man, for kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, so
Yeah.
like it's and it still is very difficult to break into the Madrid midfield these days.
Mm. Mm.
Not until Modric leaves or something happens. I don't know. But I feel like eventually next season Luka Modric is gonna get like much more reduced playing time. But I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Like I think to be honest, I felt this season he was gonna get reduced playing time.
We have been saying that for ever since he won that Ballon d'Or. I think we have been saying that. But
Man, and the man keeps playing like I don't know, man. He keeps
I
playing
don't
like,
know, bro.
we get older, but he gets younger. I think.
The way that's something. That's like I've seen him at Tottenham, man. Like I've seen him at Tottenham, like not as extensively as I do now, but I've seen him, and this guy was something else. Like there's a reason why he has this sort of longevity. Like he hardly sprints, Modric. That all that has, I think, aided to his cause. Like him playing at this level in with this intensity at this age is because he doesn't sprint much. He glides basically. He doesn't put much of an effort to run. So yeah, the Modric.
I think to be honest, he runs, but as you said, he glides. But that also like requires a lot of energy, man. It's just like you can remember like with Ricardo Kaka as well. Like everyone just look
Yeah.
at how does Kaka move past people?
Mm.
I really, to be honest, we always had that debate. Like this guy is like someone who is not. He's not someone who's gonna come and do like the Robinho-esque leg overs, or like Ronaldinho kind of dribbles, And you just see he goes past people like without any force, man. Like he moves past people like as if it's nothing.
But bro, Kaka and Modric, are you comparing both of them like in their play
No.
style?
I'm just saying like I'm just like trying to reference like you said like he doesn't sprint, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm saying like it also requires a lot of energy as well. So I'm just trying to like reference it to like Kaka. I remember in the past as well. We're always wondering like how does this guy doesn't run? This guy doesn't.
Kaka in Milan was a very powerful sprinter. Very powerful sprinter.
I mean, he wasn't like how can I say he wasn't running in the sense like you can see the running of like for like Gareth Bale or like these pit stats, But he was so fast. But he was gliding. How can I say like he was just like He wasn't like you get. I think you get the point I'm trying to make. Like when you compare with the fast players, like the Gareth Bales and the Cristianos, and and you see like the way Kaka moves, like it's a totally different kind of thing. It's
very simple stuff they do, and they make space for them. Like
that's just it. Man. Really, I feel like Kaka is one of the people. I don't know. I just feel like he's the person as far as like football is simple. You don't need just do the things, do the basic things in the perfect way, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Kaka basically made me fall in love with Milan. Yeah, that's a whole another episode in itself. Coming back to Atleti, Carrasco, man, he can cause us problems down our right. Carvajal needs to be on top of his game. Basically, he is a very tricky customer, very very fierce. Very sneaky, like he can rile you up, if you give him a chance to get in your head. Carrasco is a very tricky customer. He's not the complete package, but he's very notorious for winding people up. Any thoughts, Carrasco down our right flank?
Yeah, I think actually, you said like. He's not like an exceptional player, but he does the job. Actually, he more than does the job. Right? But like, he more than does the job, to be honest. Like, and he's quite the player, man. To be honest, like he's actually also like like the typical Simeone player. He left to China and then he came back again. I think he came back last year, I think I'm not mistaken, or 2 years ago.
I thought when he left to China, he was done. Then he came back and then completely turned it on. Like.
Actually, someone I would like to point out is RDP, man, Rodrigo de Paul. To be honest, like he was someone like Atletico just bought out of the blue from Udinese, And to be honest, I don't follow Italian football a lot, but like I've heard like a lot of buzz around. There's this Argentine guy who is like quite good and all that. So actually, I watched a couple of Argentina games, like World Cup qualifiers, I think against and then I was like, wow, this guy is a baller.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
be honest, this guy is a ball. And then he went to the
So
Copa,
much energy.
had
So
an
much energy.
amazing Copa with Argentina, man. Wow. RDP
Yeah.
is such a player, man, to be honest. RDP is so good. But I haven't seen Atletico this season a while, right? So I haven't actually known how good he's been for Atleti, so I don't know. But I
Me
saw he
neither.
scored in the last game as well.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the RDP is one hell of a player, man, to be honest.
yeah.
Quality.
He's also a very complete midfielder,
For
like
yeah,
Lorente.
yeah. And actually, the thing was it because like you see like the way people buy midfielders these days, and like you
Mm.
just see like Atletico bought I think RDP for 35 million. I'm not sure how much it was, but it was like something like that, 35 to
Peanut,
something like this.
basically.
And like you're like, wow, how can they just go and take this? Because for example, in comparison now, like SMS, for example, Sergei
Yeah,
Milinkovic-Savic, if that
yeah.
guy was to go, most likely he'd go for like 70 million or something like that.
Because at Lazio, Milinkovic Savic has a higher role than De Paul had in Udinese. He is basically untouchable in Lazio.
Yeah.
So it's quite understandable why it will be hard for people to pry him away from Lazio. Um, yeah. Any final thoughts, Brandon?
The goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, Oblak.
To be honest, like I've always felt like Oblak has always been the best goalkeeper in the world, but I feel like he was playing in a team that did not recognize it. Because he was playing for Atletico, people did not actually recognize that. Well, I
Yeah.
think this season he's lost a bit of the edge. Actually,
Yeah.
I may be biased, but I think right now I think Kucha might be the best goalkeeper in the world. But I know I might be biased actually.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like I've always loved Oblak, man. I've always, it's that kind of love-hate relationship, Like
Yeah.
the point is, Atleti had like 5-man wall, and then by mistake, if you beat this wall, right? And then you come up against another wall. Like Oblak was like he was phenomenal, man. The guy was making absurd saves, like saves that goalkeepers have no issue to be, they shouldn't even be discussing the possibility of having these saves. And like he just wow, man, really Oblak has been a very phenomenal player for Atleti, man, to be honest. He's been so
Historically they always had very good goalkeepers, at least while I started watching the Courtois. So Oblak has been nothing short of an absolute stone wall for Atleti. But this season, like you said, he has had some iffy performances. So I would say we have a better chance against just him this season than we have had ever before.
Exactly.
In his stint at Atleti. And if we can get an Oblak and rattle his feathers early on and try and keep him busy, we have a real chance. Any other key battles you feel like we need to win the El Derby this weekend?
Man, it's just Jovic against Kondogbia, Hermoso, and Rosalipo. I don't know. Actually, I feel like Benzema took part in the training, in some part of the training.
Yeah.
So for me, to be honest, like I feel like there's no need to play and have fit Benzema and he's not able to do anything. So it's just I feel it's just
like bring him on for the final 30 minutes. If things are not going your way,
it's better to continue with Jovic. So I feel like because the point is, as I said, I haven't seen Atleti yet, so I don't know how the combination of the Kondogbia, Hermoso, and Visalico works. So we just need to hope that Jovic can get some hold up, because the point is Kondogbia is not a natural center back, so maybe he might be able to exploit this. Yeah, so maybe he might be able to bully Kondogbia into.
They're not the fastest backline in the world.
Yeah.
Hermoso and Vasalco can get up a bit, but Kondogbia is very slow. Like if you can actually exploit his lack of pace, and especially the lack of pace of Koke, we can have a real chance. I think the game is won and lost in midfield, like most games, but this game in particular, to beat the 5-man wall they have, we have to be extremely efficient in midfield. And in my opinion, KCM have to be at the very top to stand a chance, even at home, to this weekend Atleti without Suarez.
So you think KCM starts? Like, okay, let's say, what's the 11 you think starts? Same as Inter or a different 11?
For me, only change I would make is probably Asensio for Rodrigo. But even then, I would say bring on Asensio when these guys get tired and get Rodrigo for the early running, all the early pressing,
Yeah.
like to close out all the half spaces. Rodrigo can do a better job to the beginning. Yeah, so pretty much same lineup. I don't think anyone else walks in at the moment. What about you?
Actually, I'm thinking maybe Valverde starts. I don't know. I'm thinking
Instead of?
maybe Fede starts instead of Luka Modric, maybe.
Okay.
But I
That's
don't
not
know
a
if
bad.
that's happening because Modric has played a lot over the past couple of days or a couple of weeks to say. So I feel like maybe it's time to unleash Fede Valverde actually. But I don't know, man. And also I'm thinking, what about Mariano Diaz?
Mariano.
Yeah.
Mariano. If Benzema is not completely fit to be a part of be any part of the game, I think Mariano will get a chance towards the last 10-20 minutes. But that's about it. Mariano is not coming near our team anytime soon. Like he can do a job. Like I like earlier I used to say he was shit. He was the shittest of the shit. But all these people under Carlo, I don't know, man. This guy seems to get a tune out of the most discarded players.
Yeah.
Like it's mad, it's mental how he's been doing this. So, any predictions, bro?
I don't know, man. The thing is, like we've had like a long and a difficult stretch, right? Bilbao, Sociedad, Sevilla, Inter, and like we've all gone through these games unscathed,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you think what happens? Do you win all these? You still have Bilbao again? I don't know, man. I feel like we can win this game, to be honest. I actually feel quite positive with this game. So I would just say, okay, like a 1-0 or 2-0 victory. I don't know, man. Just a victory, just anything. A sort of victory. I'm not sure how it will be, but I just have a very positive feeling about the victory of this game.
Same, bro. Even I feel like we are gonna have just that little bit of luck and persistence to just about see this through. Like 1-0, like you said, or 2-1. It'll be very close.
Yeah.
It'll be very close. And I just pray that we are absolutely tight at the back because we can't let these men score. If Atleti scores first, it's game over. It's basically game over. We can't let them score. If they score and then they try to sit back and then we have to like attack, they'll just hit us on the break and it'll be wild. So we can't let them score first. Our work is cut short in exactly the right way we need. They are missing their talisman. And we need to capitalize.
Yeah.
Like now is the time to send a statement across Europe, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think if we can keep this up, we are on track to achieve great things this season. But this can go either way. This is not a game that you can, even though you can be confident, this is not a game that you can put your chest out and say, Atleti walk in the park. No chance.
No, man, exactly. No, for sure. No. It's just being confident, boys. As I said, like there's a difference between confidence and cockiness, so like it's just being confident.
Yeah. Positively optimistic.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a feeling, like, and the form is with us as well. We've been good.
The fight our boys have shown as of late is phenomenal. When the chips have fallen, they have somehow managed to find a way. Yeah. Ever since the Sheriff and Espanyol double loss, something has changed. And big ups to Carlo, man. And I hope the boys get the jobs done. Any final thoughts?
I don't know, man. Just let's win, man. Let's just go for a victory.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's gonna be an ugly game, but yeah, let's just win the ugly game as well. feel like it's
It
gonna.
won't be ugly if we are up on the scoreline at 90, bro.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
you
only.
know, so eventually, like we're all football fans, we're there for the entertainment, So when you're watching ugly games, or you kind of take these things out, but then if your team wins, then that's a positive thing. Other than
That's
that, then it's just
absolutely,
a waste of a 90.
that's absolutely it. Like for me, beautiful football. I don't care. I don't care. I just need the win.
It's entertainment, man. You should be entertained.
I should be entertained, but as long as we are leading, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like, okay, like the only form of satisfaction you can get from shitty game is if your team wins. Or if it's ended up a draw or you lose, then it's just frustration in the moment. Like you're like, okay, what?
For me, El Derbys, Clásicos, big ties, knockout ties, big one-off games. Even if the performance is good and the result is bad, I'm not anyway satisfied, or I'm not that kind of a fan who would have takeaways. Oh, they at least tried. No chance. Not at Real Madrid. Maybe at Arsenal. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it, people, for this week. Yeah, big game. We need to send out a statement, and I hope Carlo gets the job done. A la Madrid.
A la Madrid.